Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But we were off on Monday for our little spring break. But we are back. And please, I encourage you to share the podcast with a friend.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody. We would really, really greatly appreciate it.
Have yourself out because then you can talk about it with somebody else. You know?
Absolutely. Holly,
Hey.
before we get to this uncensored Queen City confession that I couldn't read on the air this morning, how was your Easter?
It was good. I felt good about it. Felt like I delivered a solid Easter for my child. And let me preface that by saying, kid warning, spoiler alert. My mom used to make Easter like Christmas Junior. I mean, she went nuts.
Love that.
So, I mean, I loved it as a kid. I don't even know how she did it because all the time she was out here being like, well, it's going to be a small Christmas or it's going to be a small Easter. And then it was like fine to me. But so how we do it is, and how I do it, and I've only learned recently because I don't really discuss Easter with other mom friends, but my fiance was telling me, he's like, you're doing too much. Okay. He's like, we got Easter baskets with candy in them and that's it. And I'm like, I think that probably is the norm. And my mom over here was super extra because she just loved momming. And so when I would wake up and it's Easter, everything is hidden, including the Easter basket. It's hidden. You got to go find it. It's like a little treasure hunt. And the Easter basket is like a lot of candy and things like that. And as you get older, maybe some cool shit in there too. But gifts too. And eggs. Eggs and gifts. Eggs are hidden. And I'm not talking about actual hard-boiled eggs. I'm talking about the eggs with like little trinkets in them, like little candies in the eggs. And then like little gifts that are also hidden in the house. And so that's always what I thought it was. And so that's what I do for Maya. And this year especially, I was like, let's not get crazy. So just got her like six little gifts, and they're little, and like, you know, we all had a blast with that. And Easter was great. We did go to church. We went to my fiance's parents' house where we did an egg hunt for both girls because he had his daughter there as well, and she met us there. And so then we did an egg hunt in the backyard for them, which was actually really funny because like we put those eggs together while we were impaired.
Oh.
And we hid them all. And then the girls were like, well, how many? Because I put an initial on each egg. Like half the eggs had M's, half the ones had initials for his daughter. And so there would be no squabbling over who got more eggs.
Oh, true.
And they're like, well, how many are there total? And I was like, that is a good question. It's a mystery.
Yay!
You have to just look really hard and hope that you find them all. Like, I don't remember how many damn eggs we did. They did. I believe they did find them all. There was a situation where we thought they didn't. One had less than the other. I'm like, well, it's here somewhere. Probably. I don't know.
Hopefully, maybe. And then if you didn't, y'all would have been tearing the house apart.
Yes. So that was fun. And we did all that. Colored Easter eggs on Saturday. And then I ended up taking Maya to Busch Gardens on Monday. Just because, you know, it's her spring break this week. And so that's really the main reason why I wanted to take a few days off for spring break, just to spend some time. So we did Busch Gardens, which was a blast. And then I did not plan anything Tuesday, which was obviously stupid on my part because she woke up and hopped in my bed about 8:30 and she was like, what are we doing today? What are we doing? What are we doing? What if we call my one friend and we went to the pier and then we went to the beach? And she's like, okay, that's what we're doing. So can you call her mom? I think you can call her at 9. 9's not too early. And I'm like, God, I'm still in bed. And I wasn't planning on that. It was very difficult. Like she, like me, I love a good plan. But like, she's relentless.
But it's like, it's so interesting when you're a kid and if you can put yourself back in that mindset of like, you're just used to going to school. And so on days when you're not at school, it should be fun.
You want to do something awesome.
Right. But when you're an adult, I'm like, I don't want to do anything fun. I just want to sit in my house and not talk to anybody and not go outside and spend money, because every time you leave the house, you're spending at least $100.
Yes. She's like, and when that plan really did not work because the friend couldn't even do it, I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to do that plan. She's like, well, what if we went to, they have let's just say like a little farmer's market. And I'm like, why are we going somewhere where the whole goal of going to this place is to spend money?
Mm-hmm.
We just had Easter. Like, what are we doing? And so then we got into like this sort of back and forth where I was just like not taking my pajamas off. And I'm like, I wanted to do some stuff around the house today. This is my last day of being off work. I want to do laundry. I would like to vacuum. And she's like,
that's not fun.
Not cool, Mom. I'm bored.
That's not spring break 2024.
I'm like, hey, the garbages need to be emptied. Did you empty them? She's like, I will. She didn't, by the way. But anyway, we did finally for like 1.5 hours end up going to the pier.
Only boring people are bored.
I know. Awful. So it was a little bit stressful yesterday, but overall it was very nice.
Producer Kelvin, how was your Easter weekend?
I was drunk.
Okay.
Not too bad though. I went to Petra's, right, to Hazy Sunday, which is like this event that happens, I think, maybe once or twice a month on Sundays. And we're usually not able to go because I go to sleep at like 8 or 9 on Sunday. And if I'm going to pick a night to go out, it's not going to be Sunday. That's one I'm avoiding.
Yeah.
But because we were off Monday, I decided to go. And it's very much a social hangout. I was very nervous at first because it was just me and my other homegirl. And we were both awkward little Bettys just looking at each other, drinking our White Claws, being like, so, hey. And then the drinks start flowing a bit. And then I had a really great time. Other than that, I was coming back from Wilmington that morning. So I think you guys discussed it. I think, right? Did we discuss it on Friday? I'm not sure.
We didn't say where you were. We just said you were out.
Got it. So yeah, so I was in Wilmington because my fiance's job, they wanted him there for one of his stores. They were doing a grand reopening kind of situation. So he was in charge of that. And so his job was paying for the hotel stay and our food and everything else. So
Yum.
I asked you guys if it was okay to go work from home. And so I did that. So it was lovely. I usually plan out every single trip that we go on, and I want to go to this restaurant and I want to do this activity and see this. And this was the first time where I was like, let's just go, enjoy it, walk. You know how I feel about walking. And we just walked all around downtown Wilmington. It was super lovely. I loved it. And then, yeah, that Sunday I came back. It was Easter Sunday. Went to Petra's, had a good time.
I always admire looking at you and Oscar's story when y'all are out in a different city, because y'all like do stuff. And I'm like, I wish I had that in me to like want to do stuff. But immediately I'm like, man, that just feels like a lot of just walking around and like doing stuff.
When you go somewhere or just in general?
In general, just
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Well, because like every weekend, I'm like, all right, Abe, we should do like one thing that doesn't involve like drinking or eating. Like, let's go to a Sunday market, or let's go to the Whitewater Center, or let's just go explore Charlotte Shout or something. And then 10 out of 10.
I know.
Before we're supposed to meet someone, because usually on Saturday we have like our little brunch group. And I'm like, we should wake up and like go do something interesting or different other than drinking. And I'm like, I'm gonna just sit here and watch this show before I got to get ready. And then we'll probably be 10 minutes late to brunch. And then we never do anything. So I'm just so envious of that.
That is the same thing that we do with like nighttime plans. We're like, we're going to go find a band. We're going to watch a band while we eat. Let's go to this extra. Like, we found a great place to eat. Inevitably, on the weekends, we don't have the kids. We're going to sit there, and as time rolls around, it's going to be about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we're going to be like, you wanted to go, right? I'm just wondering, because like you really want to go, right? Well, I mean, I don't care. I don't care what we do. Like, I don't know. I kind of want to take a shower, like maybe pajamas. Or maybe we could go out. But we could go out, and then we don't. And then we never go out. We never go out.
Never, ever, ever.
I relate to the both of you because one, there have been times where like we have our third person, right? Our BFF, Shay. And there are times where I'm like, why don't we just invite Shay? Like, he's so much fun. And then he
Mm.
tags along. But
Mhm.
then it gets to the point where it's like, man, like, we need to have solo time. And that's really important. So, like, let's actually do stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So that I've learned. But also, your friends are very fun, Miguel. So I can understand
Mm.
why you always want to do shit with them, because they are really funny and they're
Right.
fun. And then on Holly's point, Oscar is more of the person that likes to stay home.
Mm.
And it is pretty cozy. And we do have really cozy times when we'll watch a show or watch a movie. And I really do enjoy that. But sometimes I get the fucking itch.
You got to get out.
I
You
get the
do.
itch.
I feel like I'm having that right now. I'm like, it's because it's like springtime.
Yes, the
And
sun.
I'm like, what can we maybe let's do, which we did actually a couple weeks ago, go out to see a band around dinner time. And I was like, look at us going out,
Mhm.
mom and dad going out. So I mean, it
Mm.
does happen occasionally. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that Abe and I think that we realize that we struggle with. Like, that's if you had a different category for things that you're strongest in. Like, we're very strong at communication and like making sure that everybody's comfortable. I think where we always fail at is having time just by ourselves. That's something different outside of just making dinner together. Like, I think we've gotten better about, especially since he started his painting business back up, of like talking during the week, because in the 2 years, to be 100% honest, like, because he hasn't been working, like when he would, because he's been volunteering at this place since we moved here, and normally by the time he's done with that, he's getting home when I get home, and I just don't want to talk. By the time we're done with this, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to
Right.
touch nobody. And so he's been very good about being like, all right, here's your distance. But then like that just sort of rolls into the evening. By then I'm like, we're in dinner making mode. And so I'm trying to do better about being like, what happened in your day? Like, not just what did you do, but like, what conflict did you get into?
Mhm.
But we've always been, and we didn't realize this until our honeymoon, was that like, we don't hang out just the two of us. Like, we don't do things that are like interesting or different with just us. Because I remember the first night we went out in Puerto Vallarta for our honeymoon, and we went to the club and we were like, are you going to go say hi to those people? Are you going to go say hi? I don't go say hi to people. And then we're like, oh, that's what Chris and Rob would do, or that's what Calvin would do, or Ramon would do. Like, and we just sort of are there. They're like, we're always sort of like the home base when we're out.
But you
Mhm.
need to figure out the going out between the two of you as a couple.
Yes.
Like, where you're not just leaning on a whole group for entertainment.
Yes. And I don't know if this makes sense. I don't think I've even talked to Oscar about this, but we had gone on a date one night in Charlotte. We went to La Helena, I think it's like a French restaurant. And it had been such a long time since we had like a date night to us to go to this like nice restaurant.
Mhm.
And just there's a difference in having conversations at home. And then there's a
Yes.
difference in having
Mm.
conversations when you're out on a date. I don't know what it is, but
Right.
I don't want to say that they're more substantial, if that makes sense, but I don't know. I think there's just like a different energy and a vibe. There's flirtation a little more. I
You're
don't know.
feeling your best because you're both now probably looking your best.
Mhm.
And it's like you are on a date where, when you're at home, yes,
You're in
we
your
can
pajamas
be dating,
and
but
stuff.
but you're just together, like you're
Comfortable.
roommates and partners
Right.
in that moment. But when you're dressed up and you're out at a restaurant and you're having to like look at the menu and
Great
you're like,
food.
yes, and
Mhm.
there's like maybe a little glass of wine or something, it really does bring out a
Bottle.
different bottle
Mhm.
part of that personality that maybe you don't see at home as much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So do it.
Yeah, so
Do
that's
it.
something that we have been trying to work on, is just like doing stuff with just the two of us, since because I mean, in our time, because when we were in Tampa, like, we had roommates at the house all the time.
Mhm.
And then we had our little group of people, and then the pandemic happened where you weren't going out, but we had a little bubble. And then that went into like planning the wedding and then moving here. And so we did have that little time together when we first moved here, but then he was traveling a lot. And so by the time Abe finally like settled back down in Charlotte, we'd already met people, And so it's
Mhm.
like, all right, we need to learn how to do that. But that first night we went out together by ourselves in Puerto Vallarta on honeymoon, we were like, oh, damn, we've never done this before. So this is a whole new muscle we need to learn how to work.
Damn.
Yeah, that's true.
But we had a good Easter weekend. We did RuPaul's Drag Race at a friend's house Friday night, and then went out and met up with some friends out that night. And then the pollen just got me this weekend.
It must be
Just
Gotcha,
popping
gal.
out in Charlotte right now.
it's This is okay. Kelvin, tell me if I'm crazy. I've asked 4 people this and everyone's agreed because I was like, I thought I was crazy. I swear to you, Thursday or Friday, it was like all the trees in Charlotte were bare still. And it's usually like November is when all the leaves are gone, like the pretty foliage is gone, and it's just like bare trees.
Mhm.
And then like you start to see a little bit of bud happening in the trees around the middle of February. And then I swear to God, it felt like 24 hours later, there were leaves. And I literally left my house one day on Saturday, and I was like, there were not leaves on that tree on Thursday or Friday, but how are they all of a sudden here overnight?
Wait, so this happened at end of March?
Yeah.
Leaves popped out?
So what is, are we in March?
This April.
April. So I know, I was like, what are we in right
I
now?
don't know.
So the end of March. So this was Friday going into Saturday.
And leaves came back.
In like 24 hours.
So mind you, I left Tuesday, and I came back Sunday. Bitch, all the white, beautiful like pear trees. Is that what they call them? The something pear trees?
I
The
think
white
so.
with the white
Yeah.
leaves. They're now green. My car is in a full film of yellow pollen when I came back.
Oh, the yellow
Um,
has hit.
We also don't live in Uptown anymore. And I think we see a lot more trees than we do now. We're in
This is
suburban
true.
areas now.
This is true because I noticed it mostly on the road where our townhouse is. There's a bunch of townhouses that face that main road, and they have these really big windows that go into their living room. And I was always like, oh, I really like those townhouses. And then Saturday, when I was going somewhere before brunch, I was like, oh, you can't see in them, but I swear to God, 24 hours before, you still could. So I feel like spring has sprung, and it happened like violently on Saturday.
Yes.
That is wild. Because remember, it was about like 2 weeks ago when I was getting punched in the face in Tampa, and I was like, "Are you guys having pollen?" And you're like, "Yeah, some." I mean,
Like
you
it
know,
was
it's not like
happening.
it's not like Florida, you know,
Right.
everything's yellow. Well, it happened.
Yeah.
Like it literally this week. I just thought to myself, finally, the pollen is subsiding in Tampa. Like, finally, the streets aren't coated. Like, my dog was having allergic reactions in his paws and he was licking everything.
Ugh.
I'm getting punched in the face with pollen.
God, that makes my eyes itch. Ugh.
Just this week, I was like,
Oh God, now I gotta itch my eyes.
I think my car doesn't have a whole lot of yellow on it. The streets don't look like they're caked with just it traveled up.
Yeah, it did, and
No.
it got us. And so we went out Sunday to Petra's. We saw Kelvin out,
I was
and
gonna say that's
yeah,
not
we
true.
saw each other out that day. And so I could feel it starting to happen with the pollen. And then we didn't do our fried chicken Easter dinner Sunday because we were going to this Petra's thing, so we're gonna do it Monday. I woke up Monday and I was like, my head hurt, my face hurt, my eyes hurt. I was draining. I was sounding like a frog, and I was gonna cancel our Monday fried chicken dinner, but I had already been marinating the chicken since Sunday, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So Abe, like, I felt so bad. He cleaned the entire house, and I was like, let me just reserve my energy until the last minute, and then I will just
Do the
do it for
cooking.
cooking. And then as soon as that last piece of chicken was dropped in the grease, I just like sat down and was like, I'm done. Serve yourselves, figure it out. I'm done. Oh my God. But I was just in such pain. But thankfully, yesterday on Tuesday, I felt a little better. And today I felt like a whole lot, but I feel like I'm just gonna be dealing with the little froggy voice for a little bit.
And you're gonna have to take a lot of those medications that dry you out. Cause like I was saying on the air, like I know Miguel over the past however long that we've been doing this, like allergies lead into sickness for you.
Always,
So-
always.
Or you lose your voice, one of
Yes.
the two. So just do whatever you can.
I know. That's why we didn't go out Saturday night, because I could feel it. And I'm like, if there's any time I'll lose my voice, it's always around this pollen season.
Yes, it is.
And there's once in the spring and once in the fall. And I'm like, we're not going to go out Saturday night. We're going to try to negate this, and we'll just do our Saturday fun day. My goodness. All right, cool. Now that we've covered our Easter weekends, now let's get to this uncensored, not safe for work Queen City confession.
And by the way, I will say this like I do on air. If you have a confession, text it to us. It's anonymous. Put hits and the confession all together in one message and send it to 96893.
And you know what? We'd love to hear some of our Tampa friends submit your confessions as well.
Yeah.
Because we never know like who it is. So always feel free, no matter where you live. we'll accept your Queen City confession, girl.
Yeah.
So this is one that we couldn't do on the air this morning because there was no way for me to clean this up. And then the discussion afterwards, there was no way to make this clean. And also, I wanted Kelvin's opinion on this as well. And I knew with all that being said, there wasn't enough time to get all of that in this morning.
Okay.
So, and I will tell you this much. So today's Wednesday. So yesterday.
Tuesday,
in it.
it was Tuesday, ain't it? I missed it. We didn't work yesterday, and I didn't have anybody say it to you. I forgot. Anyway, go ahead.
We post up on the Miguel and Holly and the Hits 961 Instagram stories. Each of us promote what's going to happen on the next day's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the one for Queen City Confessions, but I put up one of those little ask us boxes where you could leave your confession there. We keep you anonymous. So this came from one of those boxes. And so when I opened it up this morning to see if we got any, I was like, oh, shit.
You're like, yes.
And I'm like, and your face attached to it.
Your
Damn.
Instagram is attached.
Like in that way, it's not anonymous, but it is because we keep it anonymous.
Yeah, we would
you
never
trust
tell
us,
anybody.
obviously. But yeah, you did it with your whole chest.
You did. So here we go.
I'm excited.
And I hate even saying this last part out loud. Okay,
Oh.
here we go.
Oh no. All right.
I'm ghosting my friends with benefits. It's
All
a
right.
guy I used to work with. Everything was going great until he asked me, if you have kids, just don't listen, do not watch, okay? This is the not kid-friendly part, okay?
I got it.
Okay.
Everything was going great until he asked me to eat his ass. If you are a guy and enjoy that, you are gay. I couldn't believe he would want me to put my face in his ass.
when you wait, when you put it like that.
So
How
to this
could you
person,
have done that on the air?
that's why I was
I
like,
wish you did. I wish you did, but
Oh no.
there was literally no way I could clean that up.
yeah, no.
No
Oh.
way.
Oh, we gonna learn today.
So Holly,
What?
Yeah, Holly. We need the female opinion.
Oh no. No. All right, get it together. The amount of crying, laughing emojis in the chat, by the way, right now. Like,
yeah. Holly, what you think? What you think? Well, everybody, cat got your tongue.
yeah, we're just laughing.
Not his ass. So okay, so let me start with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's gonna take?
Who's gonna tell her?
I got my opinion.
Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her?
Okay, I have always maintained this.
I love, and I know exactly what you're about to say,
Mhm,
and
I
it is
don't.
so applicable right here, right now.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, I want to tackle the first line that if a guy, if you're a guy and enjoys that, that makes you gay. No, that does not. Your body and what gives you pleasure, that is physiological. That is not emotional. And
Right.
being gay is not like in your blood. It's not in your booty. It's not in your vagina. It's not in your penis. That is something that you feel. That is an intimacy thing.
An
So
intimacy thing. Thank
absolutely.
you. I love that.
and so that's
Nerve
why
endings are nerve endings.
That
that's what
part.
I've always said. Nerve endings are nerve endings. And so his body does not know if that is a woman or a man or whatever. Now, if he was like, hey, I want you to do this, and then I want a guy to cuddle me, and I feel safety and comfort with the guy, that is gay.
Gay.
But when it comes to that, when it comes to just physical, that,
Or if he was like, I want you to do that, and then I want a guy to stick his in
right,
that maybe that.
right, that, so
Depending.
So that's why I say that I want to tackle that part off, that does not make him gay. Okay. I think that obviously you are in your 100 and total right from walking away and saying, I don't want to do that. That is 100%.
Yeah. Yes, you don't have to ever do anything sexually that you do
Mhm.
not feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Kelvin.
Grow up.
Oh.
Don't knock it till you try it, first of all. I don't
Well,
know.
she don't
When
wanna
it comes,
try it.
no, for sure. She doesn't want to try and she doesn't have to do it if she doesn't want to.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to sex, to me, you know what I mean? As long as I'm not a big fan of like pain or anything like that. But anything else, like try it once. I'm a big fan of try it once. If you don't like it, whatever, it is what it is. But I feel like when it comes to sex, like at least in my opinion, I want my partner to reach the ultimate place.
Mm.
And for me, I will hit multiple things, or I will be doing multiple things to get him to that spot. So for me, why wouldn't you want to do that to your partner? Granted, she said that she was dating him, right? This isn't a
No, it's
relationship.
a friends with benefits.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
friends with benefit.
yeah.
Okay, then it's the relationship is not that important.
Right.
If this
Right.
was a relationship thing, I would say like grow up a little bit, like make your partner happy. And if you don't like it, you are in the right to not want to do it. But this is a friends with benefit. So like if it makes you uncomfortable and you find it that it doesn't turn you on because he's asking for this, then okay, girl, go ahead. Like go have vanilla sex with somebody else. Like it's fine.
Some people just don't want to do that. And
No,
but I
they don't.
also feel like if that you might be more willing to do it or not feel such a type of way about it if there was a level of intimacy there and trust. I'm not having a level of like deep intimacy or trust with a friends with benefits. Like that's
Right.
the reason that they're not a relationship. They
Yeah.
are simply there for pleasure and he's asking for pleasure and you're like,
Yeah.
this is where I draw the line. Because
right.
maybe if you felt more strongly for this person as an entire human and not just their body, then it might be different.
Right. It's transactional with the friends with benefits. It's
Yeah.
like, give me what I
Absolutely.
want, give you what you want. And
Yeah.
you're not going to want to give him what he wants, and that's okay. End it.
Right.
Right.
And I don't know that I would ghost. I would just be like, I was fine with the way things were, but that's too much for me. And then, like, for whatever other reason, just be like, well, we can be done.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I feel like when I was on the dating scene and I was hooking up, like there were things that like I wouldn't do with someone that I was, only a few times in with, just because I was like, I don't know you like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to trust my body to you that way. Because I'm already a tense person and it takes a lot for me to relax. And so there was just some things that I was just like, I can't relax enough to do that with a stranger or with someone I don't know that well. So that's completely fair for you to say that I don't want to do that and don't feel bad about it. But I would just walk away from using that language about saying that makes you gay, because there are so many straight guys that the whole thing about pegging, that like they love that and they love their wives and have full committed heterosexual relationships. So that was the only issue I had a problem with, was using that line. But sometimes that just takes a little education, because
Right.
who
Mhm.
talks about that in an open public forum?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And that's why it's like you have this belief and it hasn't ever been challenged before. And then so, that's what we're here for, is just to not judge you, but be like, hey, maybe that's not the best way to think.
Yeah.
Jenny said, learned in medical school that man's G-spot is in fact in his asshole.
Oh.
So he must have found it prior and likes it.
Yeah.
Sounds like he needs to find a girl that wouldn't mind to.
Whoa, girl. Whoa. What? No.
I did not see that coming.
I read the first line to be like, all right, this is applicable.
Oh, this is medical school we're
I was
talking
like,
I
oh,
love
okay,
it.
Jenny's coming with some medical school. I
Yeah.
didn't read. Holly, you got to read the last line.
No, I'm not saying that.
I already read the confession.
Calvin, it's you.
I don't understand the few. Let me see. Hold on. Sounds like he needs to find a girl that wouldn't mind to punching his fart box.
Oh.
Save that.
Don't ever refer to someone if it's going in there as someone's fart box.
punch my fart box. Lick my fart box.
No,
Oh my
I don't want to
God.
like play it. I can't do it.
Lacey said, I wouldn't ghost him. I'd say no. And if he didn't respect that, I would walk away like I would. he didn't respect that, I would walk away like I would him not respecting any boundary. Also, he's not inherently gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Jenny.
Got it. Okay.
God.
Tongue. Can I say it?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
She meant to say tongue punch the fart box.
All right.
I like that. Let me tongue punch you.
Stop.
Okay. Now we get nasty.
Now
Now
Now,
John
see,
Ivy.
John Ivy is gonna cancel us.
John Ivy said, "Now you get nasty." He would listen to this and be like, "I respect the high-mindedness of this conversation that could easily go off the rails." And then he'd get to the last 30 seconds and be like, "Now it's nasty."
He'd be like, "Now see, y'all went nasty. We don't have room for that in our company." He told Bob Pittman about it, probably.
Listen,
gotta
if
do
they
it.
could, never mind. Let me stop there.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have anything else? I feel like
So, like,
am.
can we have a palate cleanser, like something?
No,
Okay.
I want to leave it there.
All right.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on. Oh,
Mm.
I have a palate cleanser. Hold on, let me turn
Okay.
this off real quick. We got a really cool message this weekend. Holly, it was about your Gracie Awards from
Oh.
Trey.
Oh.
Do you have that where you can pull up easily and to read that one, Holly?
Pull up what?
His comment that he
On-
said, it was on the Gracie Award. I believe you pinned it, or Kelvin pinned
Oh
it.
yes, I did pin it because I was like, this needs to be pinned.
Yeah.
Even though I sometimes feel like I'm not in charge of any of that because I don't know, but I did it.
It
I
has your
hope
name
you
on
did
it.
Your name
it.
is on the account.
You can.
Okay.
It's
You can do
fine.
whatever you want.
Yes, it's fine.
Guys, just stop it. Okay.
Firebox.
Where is it?
And
Where is
while you're
it?
looking for it, if you missed that
Here it is.
podcast, Holly won a Gracie Award. This is an award for women by women in media and entertainment. So they have a bunch of radio women that have won, and then also in the who receives a Gracie Award, they have celebrities like Nicole Kidman, Michelle Obama, and Selena Gomez.
Mhm.
So Holly can say she won a Gracie Award just like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what did this comment say?
All right, so this is from Trey. Said, so I always listen to R&B and hip hop in the mornings and gospel while I'm driving, but I messed around and listened to Miguel and Holly one morning 2 weeks ago and have been locked in ever since. I've fallen in love with you guys, and this morning had me like crying, which is wild because I'm not a crier. Congratulations, Holly. I don't even know your journey, but I was so happy. Miguel, you are absolutely amazing for what you did. I actually started tearing up listening to you talk about the submission and how you got it set up. It sounds like Holly had given up trying, and you said, I think the fuck not. Incredible co-host and friend. And that's incredible to me because we don't hear stories like that too often, nor people willing to be so open and vulnerable about the fact that, like, this man literally started listening 2 weeks ago, and now he's like, I've fallen in love with you. And I'm like,
Normalize more dudes expressing their
Yes.
emotions. I have
Mhm.
never seen so many dudes write comments like that.
yeah, I love it. I love that so many, and we don't give the dudes enough credit sometimes for waking up and not being the men that we all know are not great men, right? There's a lot of men that are waking up and that are getting in touch with their emotions and are becoming the people that they're meant to be.
Yeah. And I really enjoy it just because I love that, doing the show in Charlotte where the, racial makeup is a little bit different
Yeah.
than what it was in Tampa. And, I've never really done radio in a city that has a big population of Black people. Like, obviously in Tampa we did, but the biggest majority were Latino, with that being your background, not African American. And so moving to a city like this, I was kind of like, I'm interested on how the community will perceive me as a Black man from Atlanta, and not knowing if they're going to be like gay or, oh, this is entertaining, or I just didn't know. And so to me, that hits me in a different spot too. And just being like, oh, I'm so glad that you see it as entertainment and connection, and you want to be a part of the community that we're trying to build and add you to it. So to me, that's why I saw that, and it took me aback. And I was like, that's so cool to hear, especially from hip hop to gospel. Like, wow, thank you so much for telling us that. That really means a lot.
And not telling us that we need Jesus. Although we do.
We do.
But
After this conversation.
one time that a little boy was like, "Y'all play Jesus music," and we were like, "No," and he's like, "Y'all ain't. If y'all ain't for Jesus, you're for the devil." And we were like, "Oh no!"
Little did we know, here comes Doja Cat and Lil Nas X a couple years later.
Yeah, it's fine.
Holly, was that a good palate cleanser?
It was. Thank you very much. I
Okay.
needed that. Thank you.
There you go. All right, Kelvin, what's your social media people can find you?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm on Threads, even though I haven't posted anything. But
Oh yeah. Welcome to Threads.
Holly?
Radio Holly on Threads, on Instagram, on Twitter X, on TikTok, all those things.
Mine is at Miguel Fuller on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real, Peloton, and I'm trying to get into the habit of opening up Threads more. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. Yes?
I'm back on PlayStation.
Oh,
that's right.
Yes.
true.
Let's play Fortnite. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm.
The SSY Killer. We had a palate cleanser. I'm not going to re-dirty it.
Okay, thank you.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the